Okay. Absolutely right. I will start.
Okay, how dare you. Hello everybody. This is Tom Stoppard. Welcome to the Pudding Basin, where we discuss Arcadia, one of my masterpieces as presented by Bedlam Theatre Company, a rinky-dink little band of misfits. Yes, and today we have the biggest misfit of them all.
Yeah.
And quite literally the biggest, and I do mean genital size. We have Randolph Curtis Rand here. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here, Sir Tom.
So who do you play? Am I ignited?
He is. Yeah, you are.
I am.
You are.
The suspension of disbelief. Wait. So who do you play in the show?
I'm completely in disbelief right now.
Yes.
I play Ezra Chater, Esquire, who is at least at the top of the show a very bad poet.
Okay. And wait, what does Esquire mean? I thought that was a lawyer.
Yeah, but my wife signs Esquire all the time, but
okay.
But he writes that in the letter when he sends it to.
So he's a lawyer.
Sextimus. I don't.
So he's a lawyer, a poet, and a botanist,
and he does it all badly.
And a cuck. Yes, that he does well. We'll talk more about that later. So your last name is Rand.
It is.
Is it really Rand?
No.
That's hot. That's hot. So it's a stage name.
It's a stage name, yeah.
I mean, it's a good fucking stage name.
Yeah.
Randolph Curtis Rand.
Yeah,
Better than Kibbles or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Not the first person, certainly, in this situation, but when the time came to join the union, someone had my name.
Really?
And so I needed to come up with something. I needed to come up with it quick, if I remember correctly. And I always kind of liked those... kind of mere names like Ford Maddox Ford and you remember in Lolita Humbert.
Yes,
Ford
Humbert
Maddox Ford is a writer from the early part of the 20th century.
Okay.
And
you're very smart.
And so anyway, I always liked those kind of names.
No, it's fucking cool.
Yeah, and also it paid tribute to several. One in particular, friend who kind of like when I got to New York City took me by the hand and
Ayn Rand.
said, "Do you know the Wooster Group?" And I was like, no. And he goes, let's go see him. And he really showed me everything that I would eventually work with and be a part of and stuff like that. So.
And his name was Rand?
No, his name was Curtis. His real name was Curtis Etchen, but his stage name was Curtis Randall.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. That's a nice little tribute.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I thought maybe it was Ayn Rand or something. You're like
or the Rand Corporation.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, what's the Rand Corporation? What is that?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't
They
remember.
probably like poison, something.
Baby seals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Topical
Tom.
to the show.
Yeah.
Topical to my masterpiece. So you have a line where you say, and here I am, a respected guest at Sidley Park.
Yes.
Genius writing. So this is like being in like a nice fancy place like this is like a new experience for Ezra. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wait, just 3 seconds. I just want to make sure I said. Yeah, my autism kicked in. I just got nervous it wasn't recording. Yeah. So anyway.
He is. These rich people would become patrons to these artists, and then they would be like indefinite guests at their estates.
Wow.
And so, he was down for breakfast, was Mr. Chater down for breakfast, and he would sit there with Lord Byron and Lady Croom and whoever else would show up. And
so like basically you're just chilling and like writing. It's like a retreat.
Yeah, exactly. In this,
that's cool.
Yeah,
mansion.
Preposterous place.
You, Randolph Curtis Rand.
Yeah.
Randy, as you're known to your friends, of which I'm honored to count myself one of them. What's the fanciest place like you've ever stayed at, like overnight?
Stayed overnight.
Like somewhere like you stayed, like you were a guest somewhere.
Yeah.
And like you like slept there proper and everything. Like
I mean, I've been in very fancy places that I didn't stay at overnight.
Like what's an example?
Well, like big estates out in Long Island and there was this preposterous place out in Pittsburgh one time I went to. It was donors, for like the Pittsburgh Public Theater and stuff like this. And they had this is in the 80s, and they had you got outside and there was a path through their garden that was lined with little cobblestones, and on each cobblestone there was a line of Coke.
That's really. That's all. These were like they were like, oh, the theater people are coming.
Yeah,
we got to
exactly,
put out the Coke.
Exactly. We
That's
gotta,
crazy.
We got to put out for them. So I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah,
like
but what
that,
about overnight?
Overnight, maybe something in Fire Island or something like that. One of those big places. But I never stayed at those.
But like when you go to like Fire Island, like when you go stay like with rich gays, right? That's basically like rich gays throwing parties.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like,
well, the way you used to do it is you would take the ferry from Sayville,
right,
out there, and you had no plans. Like you didn't know anybody or anything. But you knew you were going to find a place to stay.
Wow. Does that even happen anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're not sure, like, but staying wise, like I don't think I've ever stayed, like, overnight in, like, a super, like, in somebody's mansion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I performed once in Vienna in a palace. And like in a room that you can imagine would have been in Sidley Hall with like painted ceilings and stuff like that. But we didn't stay there overnight.
And they wouldn't let you. They didn't want you there.
No, they would.
Yeah.
The silver was still out.
Exactly. They're like, get your Coke and leave, you little piglets. So okay, my next question is so Chater. Yeah. Chater, Mrs. Chater. Let's just say, well, she's sex positive.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I guess that's the word we would use these days.
Charity Chater is her name.
Exactly. Charity Chater.
Which I think is a wonderful onomatopoeia.
Thank you.
Sir Tom.
Thank you. And I mean, that's what I do.
Onomatopoeia, excuse me.
Yeah. That's all right. I was going to slide you peasants. Yeah, I was going to let it.
But those of us in the trade, we go matopoeia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yes. Matopoeia.
Matopoeia, yeah.
It's got Riz.
Yeah, exactly. That matopoeia's got Riz. But okay, so like, are you? Well, okay, so Mrs. Chater gets around. Let's just say that. And would you?
I know where this question is going?
No. Would you say that are you a jealous person?
Yeah. Oh, the character.
No, you.
Oh, me
in real life. Are you like a jealous person?
No, not in the least. It's something.
Really?
It's something that I have rarely experienced. An emotion I have rarely experienced.
Interesting.
And I know, at least as far as relationships go, I know that when it would happen, the jealousy would happen.
Yeah.
I knew that it wasn't real.
Like how so? Like what would you have to say to yourself?
I would go like, oh, you're not really in love with this person. You're just like trying to possess. You're just about this possession, the looks, the milieu that this person hangs around and stuff like that. You're just about that stuff.
Well, what do you think that's about? Like, because some people are like really like easy like that, and some people are super like. Why do you think you're like that?
I don't know. I mean, certainly. I mean, now I could say that being a Buddhist helps, but this is long before I practiced Buddhism. I didn't have that. I sort of felt like, why shouldn't everybody just kind of do what they want?
That's amazing.
And if you're with me, like if we're partners or something like that, have fun.
That's really nice.
I mean, I don't think you are tied to me, or I don't want the relationship to ever be about you can't do that.
Yeah, it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
No, that's really nice. Do you
so.
Well, do you think that? Well, what do you think it works?
It works for me.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's all
that
matters.
For me. Yeah,
I'm a really jealous,
insecure
person, as all geniuses are.
Yes.
Geniuses like me understand, Randy. You have to understand something.
Are you?
Our personal lives are in turmoil. Always fighting demons, and that's why I make these plays about math.
Right. And do you find that you're jealous of like other people's other geniuses?
Certainly not.
Okay.
No, mine is singular. What I'm jealous of.
All right. You wouldn't really.
I should be getting laid constantly with my plays.
Right.
I mean, why is that not? But people prefer, cavemen. It's disturbing. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, soccer hooligans, whatever that in England is.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, great. Well, that's great. So Randy's a very emotionally mature person. We get it. So you have a line where you say, I was, what's that line where you're like, oh, they judge the think by the sword, Lord, where they sit at the table.
Yeah.
What's that line?
Or
he
it's,
says
it's Septimus's line. Yeah, they judge this. What is it they judge? I don't remember what they judge.
That's great. You're just like, when he's talking, you're just like, your line. My line's coming up. We know it.
Right.
No,
there's that word.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I speak. No.
I think that his sense of the line is that they judge the quality of people's artistic work by
where they sit at Sir Geoffrey's table.
Where they sit at Sir someone's table.
Yeah, it's like if you're in with the crowd or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
like I'm in the seat next to Jeffrey.
Exactly.
It's like now I'm a real poet, or now I'm a real artist, or something like this. Yeah.
So that really has nothing to do with this question, but it provides context. I try to circle it back. So okay, you can have a dinner party.
Oh.
You can invite 4 people, living or dead.
Right.
And it's your dinner party. Who are you inviting? Anybody from history,
right,
or now,
right?
Yeah.
Wow,
that's a good question.
Wow,
right?
There's so many. I'm just gonna throw things out. I'm certainly the Buddha.
Yeah,
certainly the Buddha.
Siddhartha, right?
Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha. Yeah, and oh my God, maybe. I was going to say someone like Grotowski or
that'd be interesting.
Artaud or someone like that. Someone just kind of like out there.
Yeah.
And like a theatrician who was out there and sort of like rode the edge there. And then like, this is going to sound so hokey, but like probably like Frank Lloyd Wright.
How's that hokey?
That. Well, I mean, just because he's such a name. You know what I mean?
Wait,
it's like
Frank, that was the Central Park guy, right? No. Shit, no, it wasn't.
No,
so
that's
dumb.
Frederick Law Olmsted.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Who's Frank Lloyd Wright again?
Frank Lloyd Wright is like an architect. Well, you don't know him because you're English, and he was American.
Of course.
He was like one of America's most famous architects.
Peasants, okay.
Yeah.
No,
exactly,
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, no. Yes, of course.
Yes. He designed the Guggenheim. That was like the last thing he designed before he died.
So really, what would you want to talk about? Like, be like, hey, tell me about the buildings.
Well, no, I would talk to him about space.
Yeah,
I would talk to him about
that's good.
How to, because he, he never. I forget what the if you're an architect in America, you join the AIA or something like this. It's called, and he never joined.
Oh, interesting.
And so there was an interview with him with someone like Mike Wallace or something like this, and Mike Wallace said rather cuttingly to him, so you're just like an old amateur. And he said back, I am the oldest.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, okay, because he's witty, like he's
he's witty, but it's also just his sense of space. And like a lot of these things he did was before like rules were in place.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
Stuff like that.
Because it's good because you want to curate. So having like Buddha there with Frank Lloyd Wright, with like with someone a little bit more like, a little more like Grotowski. That makes sense. Like, because you have to curate this pretty well. So who's the fourth person?
Who's the fourth person?
Hard.
Yeah. I don't want it all to be dead white guys.
Whatever.
But
I won't judge you. Canceled. You're evil. You're a terrible person. Siddhartha wasn't.
Oh, you know
right.
what? There's an artist named Hilna af Klimt.
Okay, that's
who I forget where she was from. Probably Sweden and Norway, one of those places. And she completely, through her spiritual path, created basically contemporary art.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
She did it before Kandinsky and before, she created like abstract expressionism, like shape and form and not pictures, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not pictures of something. And she got poo-pooed in her own time because, well, basically because she was a woman, because a few years later, men came along doing this.
Yeah.
And, but her journey to that was all about her spirituality. It was all like voices talking to her and stuff like that. And
so
I was just like,
she's like she's got a little spice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you make? What would you make to everybody?
Probably some of my favorite dishes. I'd probably make a gravlax.
What's that?
Well, it's a cured salmon.
Like a cement mixer. Cured salmon.
Yeah.
Okay, cured salmon. I love cured salmon. I've had that before.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You pack it in sugar and salt, and then put a weight on it and stick it in the fridge for a couple of days.
That sounds so good. Okay.
Yeah, I'd make that. You don't want to be stuck in the kitchen, so so simple things, like maybe why not a pasta dish, why not a
pasta, of course.
why not I make a nice puttanesca and
puttanesca would be nice.
and some Brussels sprouts or something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's a hard question. I know I definitely, I'm not being facetious, I definitely would want like Mike Tyson.
Oh,
I think Mike Tyson would be fucking crazy to have there. And like,
of course.
just like, like that would just be nuts. And then like, I don't know, like someone like Joan of Arc or something like some like just or like Genghis Khan or
exactly.
Just somebody like what's
out
up
there, Constantine
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but there's so many. Probably like what's that guy? Marcus. Aurelius. Probably him.
The philosopher, Roman emperor. Yeah.
And then I'd want somebody like somebody like. Probably like Robin Williams or something like that. That'd be fun. That'd be weird.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I'd take any of those.
Yeah.
I'd take.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Yours better.
Mine might. I think your party would be much more fun than mine.
No.
Mine might be kind of, Frank Lloyd Wright trying to tell everyone why he's so famous and.
No, well, that sounds fun to me. Isn't that like what it all is? That's not the most important thing.
Right.
Well, the Buddha could like shut him down and be like, "Yo, you don't get it."
Yeah, exactly.
So that'd be fun.
Exactly.
Last question. So you're see, we're going. Well, we've been going for this is one of the longer ones.
Oh, okay.
Because you're entertaining. So Ezra Chater is a botanist. Well, he's not really a botanist by name.
He's a botanist as much as he is a poet.
As much. Thank you for quoting me back to me. But you're a botanist in real life. Well, aren't you? You love plants and shit.
Well, yes. I mean, I am in training.
Yes, you're a botanist in training.
Yes, because we bought this house in Connecticut, and it has all this property, and even in that section of Connecticut, it isn't all that much property, but it's plenty for me.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't want any more.
Yes.
And so I'm learning. I'm learning about things.
What do you like about it?
Oh,
like I can't get into plants. I'm kind of like, you don't talk back. You don't like do anything.
Right. Exactly.
Like what gets you? About
what is it that Fran Lebowitz says? Like, who cares if they make their own food? When they make their own money, they can stay in my house.
That's fucking good. I like that.
Well, I like things growing.
Yeah.
I've always had plants in my apartments.
Okay.
And so, and I admit I talk to them.
Okay.
So,
do you like give them like plans to blow up federal buildings and stuff? Is that like what you're like? You're like, hey, so we're gonna get, don't have that anyway.
But we inherited this yard, and so it was like discovering what things are. Oh, it's echinacea. Oh, it's a euonymus. Oh, it's holly. This is holly. This is a Norwegian maple, which is an invasive species, as opposed to a Norwegian spruce, which is a native species. Yeah.
So it's like the knowledge. So it's having to identify and know what everything is. And like to get the lay of the land.
Right.
That's part of it. It's like how people can get really into like I don't never get into this, but it's like people like really into like Lord of the Rings, like all the mythos and the lore and all. Is it kind of like that? It's like, oh, these are all the plants and these are what the world like. I'm not. That's not me,
I mean, I guess you could.
Is it kind of like that?
I guess you could probably do that because the real deep stuff, is like the fact that the mycelium, which is the plant part of of a mushroom.
Okay.
Right. And it's everywhere underground. And that is like a nervous system for the earth. And it connects all the plants in an area, and it can do things like we're gonna send nutrition to this plant over here because bees live in that plant, and they'll.
So it's like conscious. It's like very alive.
Yeah,
like
it's very alive.
Aware.
You know, like we have these 3 old and not very good shape sugar maples in our yard. And when we were having construction done, we had no way to get like these big trucks, like cement pours and stuff like this, into the yard. So we talked to this plant guy, and he was like, well, you know, these 3 trees are planted too close together and too close to your house. So, and they're not doing very well. And these 2 trees are talking to each other, and they're probably cutting this one off just in order to survive.
Wow.
And so if you need to cut a tree down, it's this one, you know? And so yeah, things like that.
No, it's like, you're like, no, but it's, no, that's interesting. It's like, what I'm taking away from what you're saying is like, yeah, it's sort of like, what are they, you know, just like being skilled in something and like being really masterful in the knowledge of
what
how
I
these
mean
things
is
work
that if I wanted to like go down this kind of like mythical, you know, like deep thing, I could. Yeah.
Because like these things are making, you know, they're cutting this one off. And they're invading over here.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah,
you know, we're just in like, sort of this past season we wanted to turn our yard into a meadow. So we just quit mowing it and just let everything grow and see what we have.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we found is that we have a lot of invasive species, which the mowing checked.
Interesting.
You know? And so then I was out there like pulling, you know, with like gloves on and stuff like this. And my wife has discovered she loves going out and weeding and things like this. She has discovered that if she like looks at a poison ivy, she breaks out.
Really? Wow.
And I have discovered that I am, knock on wood, probably immune.
Wow.
To poison ivy.
No, it's fascinating. It's a whole other world.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole other. It's happening all around us, and so many of us are not aware of what's going on with it.
Well, I mean, why would you in New York City, you know? And
that's true.
But this is the thing, you know, if I'm not doing something, which I haven't been doing a lot in the past 2 years, then my concentration has gone to that, you know, and looking after the yard and weeding and planting some things. And
so if you want Randy to like, you know, be sweaty like in your yard, like the sweaty yard boy, like look, like you could do the sweaty yard boy thing if we have some ladies out there who want that.
Absolutely.
And men or whomever.
Yeah, or whoever. Yeah.
Great. Well, that was hot. That was good. That was the pudding base. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I did. Good. Thank you, Sir Tom.
You're very welcome.
Your accent is very.
Yeah, I try to keep. I want to relate to people.
I understand.
You know, I don't want people to be intimidated by me.
Right.
Well, that was the Pudding Basin, and good job. That was
Thank you.